feel like I join the choir. Shit, I should go to church. Amen. Praise the Lord. Amen. Amen. Praise the Lord. I think I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with distinctions, it was wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with distinctions, man, this chicken got real wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir. What you know about losing your best friend, or losing your best man, losing your blood brother from a sister, wishing you can free him again. All the real niggas put y'all hands in the air for the real niggas y'all can lost. All the real niggas chuck y'all gang in the air for all the bitch niggas y'all been tossed. Man, this shit got real crazy, feel like we losing niggas on the daily. All I had tears in my eyes, anger said somebody need to die. I was trying to get some get back, they killed my homie of a bitch, nigga. I'll be down, won't get my get back. Let's crack and look at me wrong, that boy about to get his shit pushed back. I think I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with extensions, it was wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir. Cause we was sinning, we was hanging in the field. We had Glocks with extensions, man, this chicken got real wicked and tricky, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. Oh, we was sinning, yeah. I think that I'ma join the choir.
Should be really clear about this. Like, what does that mean when you say misinformation? If someone fact checks you and they find you to be in error and you do not correct it publicly, what are we supposed to do about that? Should you be banned from being a White House press secretary? Should you be banned from being able to speak on social media because you've been proven to be incorrect, possibly willfully? I think we need free expression. We need free expression to sort it all out. And it's very convenient for people to just want to silence people who say things that they don't like or say things they think are inappropriate. But it's not healthy. The only way we figure out what's right is you let everybody talk. And it's messy and it's complicated. And a lot of times people say things you don't like. But that's how you sort out how you feel about things. It takes a long time. Takes a long time to gather up a true opinion on a subject, and one of the only real ways is to get a view of it from all sides.
Silenced for speaking the truth.
You talk against the agenda, they'll deperson you. And the agenda has certain subjects, and one of the subjects is immigration, because they have a intricate plan of what they're doing with immigration. The other subject is this fixed election, and the last subject is corona. If you talk about these things in a negative light, they will de-platform you because they don't want people to hear things that make them think. We'll delete your video on YouTube, we'll delete your post on Facebook, we'll delete your tweets, and if you continue to talk about it, we'll delete your entire account.
I put a story up on my Instagram, a picture of me, Andrew and Tristan. We were at a restaurant. I put the text, Andrew takes final message, the link to the video. 2 hours later, Instagram removed it. Right, their reasoning behind it was violent or dangerous organizations. What was even worse, Instagram shadow banned me after that. And the reason I know I was shadow banned because I was getting on average 400 to 500 followers per day, and then literally a couple of hours or the day after I put that story up, I started losing followers every single day.
Free, and I'm thinking free.
Welcome to the Too Much Moxie podcast. I am your humble host, Too Much. And with me today is our co-host, the big Walter Downing. And we are in the building. What's going down, my constituents?
Yes, sir.
What is going down? Hey, man, we about to get into it. Y'all see the thumbnail. We're talking about censorship. Censorship is the modern day Jim Crow. Is it? Is it? When you're born into a certain group because of the color of your skin, people will expect things from you. They will try to force you into a box to satisfy their narrative. If you don't fit that, the dominant culture will do everything in their power to make sure you do. We still live in a world where the dominant culture of white people has the control, and they feel like they are entitled to everything. Now, not all white people, but we're talking about the dominant culture, right? They can put an end to your career. They can even delete you if they wanted to, because they have the money and the power. But that's not how it should be. The definition of censorship is the suppression of speech and other communication, which may be considered objectionable, harmful, sensitive, politically inconvenient, or untrue. It is often carried out by governments or private organizations such as media corporations or private entities. Censorship is wrong. It's morally, ethically, and constitutionally wrong. In today's society, however, censorship is highly used as a tool to oppress people and limit freedoms of speech. Those who have a voice are threatened and bullied into submission. I'll be talking about examples of censorship throughout the modern-day Jim Crow era, and more specifically, examples of censorships that target Blacks. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Big Walter, I got the Big Walter down and with me. Y'all know what happened, man. Y'all seen what's going on with Kanye, right? Y'all seen how Kanye's being censored, cut off, silenced. Y'all saw he had a video. He did a Tucker Carlson interview, right? Then he did Drink Champs, right? And I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about my boy Nori, man. He took down the interview. I mean, y'all can go. I mean, you can scrub the YouTube and you can find it. You know, you can find the whole interview. And if you're privy and if you're able to actually watch that whole video, I think it's like 3 hours. You'll see that Kanye really didn't say anything that deserves censorship. I mean, I thought he explained himself very clearly. He said some things that I thought were very profound. He did it in the Kanye way. He babbled. You know, he babbled a lot. You know. The thing about Kanye is, man, you have to wait, because you're going to ask Kanye the question, and he's going to answer a question that he wants to answer before he answers your question. And then he's going to try to tie it in and make it all make sense, which kind of gets confusing, right? But he said some very profound things on that interview, man. Some very profound things. But they took it down. You can find it on other social media platforms. You can find it on other YouTubers' sites. You know, some of them are actually broadcasting the whole full interview. Usually those people who are not monetized, right, they're able to get away and do that, right? But if you're monetized, man, you got to watch out for that copyright strike. You got to watch out for that copyright strike and that warning that it's coming. You know, that like, hey, man, you keep doing things we don't want you to do, we will deplatform your ass. Okay, so let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it. Big Walt, what do you think about censorship, man? How do you feel about, censorship? The title is Censorship. Is it the modern day Jim Crow? Is it?
Yeah, man. It is, because if we really look at it, remember how we always talk about how both sides are pretty much the same?
The Democrat, you're talking about the political party, yeah. Democrats, Republicans, pretty much the same party, yeah.
Excuse my voice. I've been drinking a lot of water, but it's still.
No, it's all good.
It's still a little. But yeah, man, because if you think about it, we can't get the left and the right, we can't get Republicans and Democrats to come together for nothing, right? Nothing at all, right?
Nothing.
However, as soon as Ye says what he says, and what he says is pretty much historical. It's not even hate. As soon as he says that, right?
It is. It is.
All the left, right unites against him. And what we can never do, we can't never get the left and the right to come together. But now all of a sudden, like the left and the right comes together and he can't get on any show, right? Nobody will back him up, right? And we can't never get the left and the right to come together. But all of a sudden they can come together against Ye for that. That's censorship. That's the new Jim Crow. Because in the Jim Crow days, we couldn't get the left or the right to back up black people, right? We had both sides, but neither side was trying to get rid of Jim Crow. So it's the same thing, like same segregation tactics. That's just my opinion, but I just see the same segregation tactics going on.
Right. No, I feel you, man. I'm looking for a video right now. I'm about to bring up this video called, I don't know if you guys ever seen this channel called Kanye Live. And it's pretty much just like I don't even know how to explain it. It's pretty much like a loop or something. It say it's live, but I don't know if they're actually live, but it's like the same people. I don't think they're live, but I wanna play this real quick. It's just showing live. It's just showing live. I don't know why it's showing live, but it's not live. It's not really live. He's not really talking right now, but they have it on loop. Let me see if I can bring it up here. And I want to just play just a little bit of this, man. You know, because this, I was up like 2, 3 in the morning after watching the Drink Champs interview, and I saw this and I was like, what is this? Is Kanye holding his own space?
Real big positive thing. You know, feeling is a crime at this point. Breathing is a crime. Yeah, at this point, literally, it's like breathing is a crime. Right. So when we do our company, and when we do things that are based on schools, because that's the main idea, to make the school.
Okay,
it's not about fashion brand. It's not about, because the curriculums that have been given to people right now, triangle you drew out this morning, where it goes from influencer to more influencers to early adopters, right, to audience to critical mass. Yeah, we have to educate the critical mass on esteem. We have to educate the critical mass on religions, all the religions. We have to educate the critical mass on breathing, on yoga. We have to educate the critical mass on financial literacy. We have to educate or not even educate, let's say expose information, because educate's even a little bit do this like that, like we have to educate on physics. How do things actually work? How do the pipes, the water, how does that work? Right. That's, so our school is around engineering, food. That's the most important. That's the top. We're nomadic. The idea of a home is a concept placed on us anyway, but I bet you're gonna need some food. That's right.
Now I'm a pause it right there, man. He's already talking. He's already on his square. And I want to take this time. I think we got 45 people in the room, man. Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell, because I don't stream at a certain, I don't stream. I stream when I can. I'm trying to get more base where we stream at a certain time and a certain time of day. So hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I'm going live. But Kanye West, you see him talking about infrastructure, schools, educating the people, teaching the masses, but they're trying to censor this guy. They're trying to censor his talk. And he has this channel called Kanye Live. And I want you guys to just go check it out. It's just a loop. It's not really him live or anything like that. It's just a loop, right? But he's actually saying some things. So I want you guys to just go on and check that channel out. And we're about to get back to the program at hand, but we're talking about censorship, man. Censorship being the modern day Jim Crow. Censorship being the modern day Jim Crow. Make sure you guys, if you come in the room, get the likes up, man. Do me a favor, get them likes up, man. Let the algorithm know that y'all enjoy this show. So censorship, man. We're talking about censorship, man. I mean, we're talking about a slippery slope, man. We're talking about getting on these social media platforms, being able to do the things that we want to do, and we're being censored and stopped in every way, in every fashion. It's like no matter what we say, no matter what we do, if it doesn't line up with the agenda, or if it goes against the agenda, right? If it goes against the agenda, they're trying to silence us, man. That's Jim Crow to me. When you're trying to block the truth, when you're trying to stop progress.
It's similar to when because Kanye West, Ye put it when he said information is one of the necessities even above water. He said it's information, water, and I believe shelter or whatever. And if we really think about it, back in the slavery days, it was illegal for, or you can even be killed if you was a black person and you wanted to read, or you was trying to read, right? Because once you gain knowledge and information, then that was seen as I guess it's an attack or something like that, right? So same thing today. Nothing new is going on. Information is trying to be blocked. Back then they said, hey, you can't read. If we catch you reading, you're going to get some lashes. Now it's like, okay, censorship, modern day. If we catch you putting out certain information to your people, we're going to ban you. We're going to send the dogs after you.
Right.
we're going to cancel you. We're going to string you up. And it shouldn't be like that, especially in a country where we have freedom of speech and so on and so forth. We have freedom of speech, but yet people on these personal platforms are trying to censor that. To me, that's the same thing as saying N-word you can't read.
Yeah. Man. I mean, man, it's like, you can't be afraid, man. You can't be afraid to speak your mind, but you gotta be smart. You gotta be intelligent. You have to, first you get the power, first you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get the respect. Kanye or Ye, I'm gonna just let me give Ye respect. Let me give Ye his respect. Ye got the money, he got the power. Well, he got the money, he got the respect, he got the power. He's going after the so-called media and bad business practice of a certain group. And he's doing it unapologetically, unafraid. And I'm for my brother. I'm riding with my brother. I believe in Ye. Whether you believe in Ye or not, whether the audience believe in Ye or not, I believe in Ye. Not because Ye is just saying some crazy things, because Ye is speaking the truth unapologetically. Ye is unapologetically a man right now. Ye is unapologetically a billionaire. Ye is unapologetically speaking his mind, whether it's harmful or helpful. He's speaking it. He is a man out there on an island. And I love it, man. I love it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love it, man. I love to see brothers standing up and speaking truth to power, unafraid, unafraid to speak his mind, unafraid to just speak out there. And he's saying, hey, he's telling the black community, he's saying, hey, back me up. If you see them taking my kids, tell me, don't prevent it, don't stop it. Don't turn your back on me because I'm riding for you. Now, again, Ye is not the person that we would have chose, right? He's the nerd in high school, right? He's the guy wearing the pink polos and he's the guy wearing tight jeans. He's the guy that we're questioning his sexuality to a certain extent because he's expressing himself in a way that doesn't seem masculine to us. He's not the typical thug or gangster or street dude, He grew up in the suburbs. His mom was well off. He had style, right? He's traveled. So he's not the guy that we would necessarily in the black, and he's the guy, he's not the guy that we want, right? But I believe, my opinion, he's the guy that we need for this time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one that's not afraid to speak on, but honestly, he's doing. I'm not sure if he's for reparations itself, right? But he's doing reparations on the black identity right now.
Okay.
On black equity right now, and even when I say black things, I'm not excluding other races because right now the powers that be, they see anybody that's poor as the same thing. They don't really see a race right now. You know what I mean? But because we haven't got rid of the racial things against black people, that's still in the mix. People can't forget about that, right? But he said it right. Like, why can't black people have an identity? Like, we're not that to me, that's the real anti-Semitic thing, by not allowing black people to have identity. Because we grew up if you had a black person that said, hey, I'm Mexican, they just look at you like, what? You're not Mexican, you're black. Right. And you would actually be Mexican or black Asians. Oh, I'm Asian. They look at you. You're not Asian. You're black. Not realizing that black. Our nation has made black be its own race, when actually black is every race.
Yeah. If you got 1% black in you, you are black. If your daddy was black and your mom was white, you are a black baby. If your dad was Arab and your mom was black, you are a black baby. Okay. If your dad was white and your mom was black, you are a black baby. According to American standards, not necessarily true outside the US. But if you're inside the US, if you're biracial, you are considered black no matter what. When the police pull you over, they're not going to look at you and be like, oh, you're light skinned and you're dark skinned. No, you're black.
And where's I know this censorship comes from ancient times. It even comes from slavery times. But what is the most recent thing that type of censorship has came from? It came from a Jim Crow law. Right. And Jim Crow
was about exclusion, and censorship is about exclusion and silencing and putting a certain group at the bottom, just keeping your foot on their neck and making sure that they stay in their places. They don't travel outside. That's what Jim Crow is. Don't travel into spaces you should be in. And that's one of the things that, that's one of the things you got to understand that Kanye is mad about. Ye is mad about. And let's be real about this. Ye, this is the question that everybody has has for Ye. Is Ye doing this out of sincerity? Is Ye speaking out about this out of sincerity, or is he speaking out about this in selfishness? Meaning, Ye, Ye has a narcissistic personality to a certain extent. Ye believes in Ye. Ye does things for Ye's benefit. Ye does things that make Ye feel good, right? Ye's been trying to get in this big boys club, the billionaires club, forever, right? He's been trying to get in the billionaires club forever, y'all. He's been trying to get around, be around the top people in the industry. He's hanging around guys like Elon Musk. He's trying to get, and now that he's made it to billionaire status, he's finding out that the color of his skin is still keeping him on the outside. And he's jealous. He's hurt. He's mad. And now he's like, man, I'm lashing out. He's tired of being bullied by these so-called, he's tired of being sunned by all these entities, by all these groups. He's tired of being marginalized. He's tired of being put into a box. That's why he's flexing. And whenever you flex too much, what do? They shut you down.
They send the dogs after you.
They send the dogs after you. And he's talking about the media. He's talking about a specific media and a specific business practice of a certain group of people. And I think he's right for calling them out. And here's what I think. The same way they get on black people about celebrating bad behavior, right? About oh man, how can you be upset with that guy with what the police did because that guy's a criminal? That guy robbed 10 people and killed this person. Why do you care how the police mistreat that criminal? Well, now you got Ye calling out this certain community that controls the media outlets, right? And he's saying, why aren't you guys speaking up against the people that do bad practices in this certain group? And I don't see nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna replay something we played on yesterday's show, and we're gonna let Ye speak to that himself. Let me bring this up here real quick. Boom, boom.
I mean, well, if we really think about it, and I mean, just look this up in history too. How many Jewish people are able to walk the line of go back and forth between being Jewish or being white supremacist? Like, if you look it up, there's a lot of people that identified as being Jewish that were KKK members, you know, for the left or for the right, you know, and so and blacks being excluded from being able to say that they're Jewish. You know, it's a power thing for censorship. I mean, we was at one point we was considered what we say last time?
Three-fifths of a person.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
and there was a certain group that I'm not even going to mention the name because of the frenziness behind it, right? But there was a certain group that actually told us how much is. Can you imagine somebody figuring out how much a human life is worth?
Yeah.
Can you imagine somebody trying to figure out the dollar amount? This certain group figured out the dollar amount of how much a human life was worth. How much a black human life was worth. The same thing they're kind of doing in Chattel NFL. Chattel slavery NFL. Call them, you know, they're figuring out, they're putting a dollar amount on how much these athletes are worth.
Well, I mean, yeah, even before you get to athletes, let's look at history. Look at black patents and whatnot. You know, like a lot of the producers were European Jews, right? And instead of them saying, you know, hey, you know, let's look at rock and roll. Instead of them saying, hey, you know, let's give the black people their props and their patents and their songs for rock and roll. It was like, nah, you know, we're gonna roll with the racist times and put Elvis on the forefront instead of
give all those songs to Elvis. Yeah, because they're the dominant culture.
Yeah, and so that's basically what's going on today. They're going with the dominant culture of of right now, the far left is the dominant culture thing because too many Republicans were walking in racist and biased things. You know, I feel like you can be a conservative and not be a Republican because but we'll get into that later. But I mean, even Kanye West said he was like, you know what, I'm down with Trump, but I'm gonna be real with it. A lot of them, the rich whites that I hang around with, they are racist and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And so people just go with the times, right. And going with the times is what's causing the censorship. Going with the times is what caused Jim Crow. And whatnot, and so that's what we're dealing with right now.
They're trying to deplatform Joe Rogan. They're trying to. I mean, it's crazy, man. Anytime you speak something that's contrary to what they want you to know and understand, anytime you go too deep off into the what they would call conspiracy, they want to, they want to deplatform you. They want to tell you, oh, shut that down. Andrew Tate, they deplatformed that guy because he was influencing the youth by telling them, hey, man, don't take no crap from a woman. Pretty much. Speak up. You're a man. Be unapologetically be a man. You don't have masculine. It's not toxic masculinity to be a man. And they deplatformed the guy. You saw the only person they didn't deplatform was Kevin Samuels, but you saw all the hate that this guy got. This guy got so much hate. I mean, even in his death, they're still talking about this guy and they're still tearing him down. And now you have a guy like Ye, right? Check this out. Ye is being sued by the George Floyd family for $250 million. That's absurd. You already won a lawsuit, and now you're trying to come after another black man and because he's a billionaire and take advantage of him because of some stuff that he said on a Drink Champs platform, which may or may not
assume though. Why? What comment? I seen the whole Drink Champs thing. Like,
he said, he's saying, see, here's the thing. Ye speaks a lot of white supremacist talking points. If you listen to him, that's why you can tell who he's hanging around and who's influencing to a certain extent. And he said that George Floyd, the guy didn't really put his knee on his neck that hard, like he wasn't really putting his whole weight, and that it was really the fentanyl. And he kind of said in a way like he got hit like not that he was like they hit him with the fentanyl, like they doped him. He kind of put it like that. I don't know if it was caught like that, but that's kind of how I caught it. I caught it like he pretty much said they hit him with the fentanyl, and that's what really killed him. And the family is coming back and trying to sue.
If anything, they need to go after Candace Owens because, or they should have went after Candace because Candace Owens was the one flat out saying that George Floyd deserved it. And whatnot, and that was just despicable because when a police rolls up on a person, and all these black people that they're putting in the news, Fox News and whatnot, and trying to say, oh, they had a history of drugs or that they had this criminal record, blah blah blah. When you pull up on somebody and you don't have their ID yet, you don't know anything like that about the person, right? You just know that they're black. And you have your your thoughts about it, right? And so now once you find out later that they've been on all that, or later that they have a record after you run it, now you try to use that to justify profiling, and it's wrong.
Right. Now we're about 36 minutes into the broadcast. What I want you guys, we got about 191 people in the chat that I see right now. Do me a favor. This is the time that I need you guys to hit the like button, hit the share button, share the broadcast, let people know that we are live right now. I'm going to play a couple quick videos real quick, and then we're going to get back into the broadcast. But I just want to give you guys time to go ahead and press the like button real quick, and leave us some comments, man. We want to hear from you guys, man. There's 195 people in the room today. This is the largest. 196 is the largest we've ever had on the show so far. So let's take advantage of this. But let me play some more quick videos real quick, and then we'll get back into the broadcast.
Harm principle. State, my neighbors, and everyone else should let me get on with my life as long as I don't harm anyone in the process. One way of thinking of this is my freedom to swing my fist ends at the tip of your nose. If I don't have dependents, I should be free to drink myself to an early death, live as an eccentric, or explore alternative lifestyles, as long as no one else is damaged in the process. Paternalism is okay towards children, they need protecting, but never towards adults who are of sound mind. So, let me get on with my experiments of living, and you get on with yours. And even if I'm wrong about the best way to live, it's better to let me make my own mistakes. This individual freedom is the seedbed of genius. It's also the basis of enduring happiness for ordinary people. Mill favors free speech, too, up to the point where it inflames violence. It's not just what you say, but also where and when you say it that matters. But merely causing offense, he thinks, is no grounds for intervention. He champions dissent because it keeps us on our intellectual toes and stops our beliefs congealing into dead dogma. We need a variety of views to think well. Censorship is the enemy of progress.
Yeah. The biggest threat to America today is not communism. It's moving America toward a fascist theocracy. And everything that's happened during the Reagan administration is steering us right down that pipe.
Oh, Mr. Zappa, do you really think? I mean,
I really think that.
All kidding aside, in this country, with the permissiveness that we are moving toward a fascist theocracy, anything goes.
We are, but
do you think things like this would have ever been permitted?
Smile again.
When we were 20, when we were kids, you're about my age, maybe a little younger.
45.
Well, I'm 55. Do you think when I was a kid that they would permit songs like that to be sold? I mean, permissiveness is the game. I mean, exactly. You're not really serious if you're saying we're going toward a fascist theocracy.
That's right, we are.
Wait a minute.
In what way? Give me one example.
Wait. One example of a fascist theocracy.
When you have a government that prefers a certain moral code derived from a certain religion, and that moral code turns into legislation to suit one certain religious point of view, and if that code happens to be very, very right-wing, almost toward Attila the Hun...
Well, then you are an anarchist. Every form of civil government is based on some kind of morality, Frank.
Morality in terms of behavior, not in terms of theology.
Well, of course. But look, I mean, I couldn't believe in your hearing.
John, okay, wait a minute, gentlemen. We have to take a break now.
Honestly, I think America is no longer a theological theology. Matter of fact, Vladimir Putin came out with a speech, right? He came out with a speech saying that America is no longer a show for God or a country that believes in God. They've gotten away from their Christian beliefs, and that's that I think that's part of the problem. I think that's part of the problem. We've gotten away from the fundamental of putting God first. We can't. We watched the radical left kind of strip God out of the schools and make everything. They're stripping God, and they're stripping gender. Like they don't want gender roles anymore in society. Like we're not supposed to, it's crazy. But in the U.S., it's like I'm hearing all this cis men and cis women and non-binary and they and them pronouns and and we're watching if anybody that even speaks like a Jordan Peterson, for instance, they want to silence. They want to disrupt. They want to send the shields after them. I'm not with all this censorship, man. I'm really not, man. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna speak my mind. That's where I'm at. Let me play one more video real quick that I was trying to find here, and this was the one of Kanye, or excuse me. I gotta stop disrespecting that brother. Let me see if I can find it here.
What do you think's the film, Kanye?
I love it.
Yeah?
That's the only question you got?
Oh no, Do you regret saying your comments about Jewish people this week as well? Is that something you trigger some controversy with your comments?
Do you think that the comment came just out of the blue? Or do you think there was a reason why I felt?
I presume there's a reason, so why you said what you said. Do you wish harm on Jewish people?
No way. But I do feel that in Hollywood, especially with black entertainers, I've had a lot of bad experiences. And if people use that anti-Semite idea to cover up bad business, to say, hey, if you call somebody out on bad business, that means you're being anti-Semitic. So I feel happy to have crossed the line of that idea so we can speak openly about, things like getting canceled from the bank. A lot of this stuff for me is the richest black man in American history that put $140 million in Oregon and never even had a chance to not even get deals from. We'll speak at a different point.
Thank you, sir.
He was about to get into the J.P. Morgan. Understand, this is how bad censorship is. Think about it. Remember when they were talking about that whole thing? See, notice we haven't been hearing the term NWO. You know what I'm talking about when I say NWO? We haven't been hearing that term NWO in a long time. But this is some of that NWO right here. Think about it. This man had money in a bank. He said DEFCON 3, and he had money in a bank, and the bank told him, you got to get your money out of our bank. Now, if that ain't some censorship, if that ain't some Jim Crow, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of you being able to speak. I've never heard of somebody getting fired from their job for saying something they shouldn't say. And then all of a sudden they got to pull all their money out of a bank.
Yeah, and I mean, just think about it. How many people are worse than Ye? Ye hasn't even did anything to anybody. You got killers. You have people that have poisoned mass people, right? Financial criminals, and the list goes on. Who has their money in the bank, and they know it. They're made aware of it, right? But making Ye take his money out the bank for just saying some historical things, that proves his point on the censorship, like to where you can make somebody take money out of the bank. That's that's like, I mean, that goes back to the Jim Crow days. Hey, black
and he's a black. Is he the first man they did that to? I've never heard of them doing that to any other person in my life. I've never heard a bank telling somebody they can't put their money in the bank. Let me Google that. Is he the first person that this has ever happened to?
I mean, to me, that's borderline, or it has to be along the lines of discrimination, because we get when a black person goes and tries to cash a check and they call the police on them and blah blah blah. I mean, it can't be too much different from that. This is business. Like, what does me having my money in the bank have to do with what's going on? Like, okay, if that's the case, then how come you're not doing that to criminals? How come you're not doing that to people who have been known to poison cities, and how come you're not doing it to murderers? And so it's just kind of weird to me. Like, but to me, it proves the point of the power of who owns this. It's ownership.
Right. So can banks take your money without your permission? A bank can't take money from your account without your permission using right of offset unless the following conditions are all met. Their current account and the debt are both in your name. The position is a bit more complicated with joint debts and joint accounts. So banks can't take your money. So it's not like they took Kanye's money, but I'm trying to figure out, are they able to? I mean, they did it. Obviously, they must be able to because they did it. Can the bank? Let me type this in. Let me use voice. Let me use voice because I'm tired. Can the bank force you to take your money out of their account?
According to Sophie, through the right of offset, banks and credit unions are legally allowed to remove funds from a checking account.
They can do this to pay a debt on another account because this is talking about taking money. This is talking about them going in your account and just stealing your money. But they can. I gotta say it the right way. Can a bank kick you out of their bank? Is that the right way to say that?
Law Group LLC. Only a court can order you out of the house and force you to leave.
I don't know how would I word that,
because it's not something that normally happens. You know, to me, this is historical.
Can a bank refuse your business, refuse your money? That's what you put, refuse.
That might help.
Your money. There is no federal law that requires a bank to cash a check, even a government check. Some banks only cash checks if you have an account at the bank. So does the bank have to give you all your money? Can a bank confiscate your money? What about why are banks refusing cash deposits? The banks get suspicious. I don't know, but I've never heard of a bank. I probably don't know how to answer it, you know, word it correctly to get the proper answer from Google, but obviously they can. Obviously the bank can say, you know, you've been banking with us for a long time. We've made money off your money, but guess what? Now we don't want your money anymore. 259 people in the chat. Do me a favor. Go if you're in the chat and you're listening, do me a favor. Hit a 1 in the comment. Hit a 1 in the comment. Hit a 1. I need everybody to spam the chat right now. Hit a 1 in the comment. Make sure you're liking the content. Make sure you're sharing this content. Do this for the algorithm, man. We're trying to get this out to more people, and we appreciate you guys joining our show. It's the first time we had this many people in our live show before, and we're excited, man. So do me a favor, spam the 1 in the comments, man. We want to see you. We want to know that you're. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us any questions at this time. Let us know what you guys think of the broadcast with the show. What do you guys think about censorship? What do you think about how they're censoring, how they're going after Kanye, going after Ye? Are you for Ye? Are you against Ye? Are you for censorship? Are you against censorship? Let us know. Leave us a chat in the comment. Leave us a comment in the chat, or how would we say that?
Yeah, if we look at it, Ye's not the first one though. Like to me, this is just history repeating itself. Let's go back to Ray Charles, because Ray Charles didn't want to continue to play for all white audiences that wasn't allowing black people to buy tickets. You know, he didn't do anything wrong, but yet they kicked him out of Georgia, right?
Right.
They said you cannot
put a ban on him.
Yeah, you cannot play in Georgia, right? And if you look at the names, and I'm not even being anti-Semitic. This is history. If you look at the names of the people involved, the people that own these places, you know, it wasn't all, you know, the white European people. A lot of the Jewish owners had something to do with it, or even if they didn't have anything to do with it, they wasn't fighting for their artist to not be banned from these places. And they had the power and the money to get a lot of these bans lifted and to push a campaign, but they went with the times, you know. Martin Luther King, people think that Martin Luther King was accepted. He was censored too. He was talking about even everybody's looking at the Bootstraps interview and whatnot, right? That wasn't something that was broadcasted heavily. That was something that they had a fight to get on the air. You had to have certain connections to get interviews with Martin Luther King like that on the air, that talked about black people pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. And I mean, shall I go on? Like, there's so many.
Let me ask you this question. You know, because you talk a lot about entities and groups, right? Why do you think entities and groups use bully tactics and censorship to control the masses? Why?
It's for it. Well, it's financial for stocks, and it's for power, political power. Whoever controls the people controls the power. Like how they say power to the people. They're taking away the power to the people and using people as batteries, and they're using it as power from the people now. We've given up power to the people, and a lot of these government entities, left and right, are taking it and saying, you know, hey, we're drawing our power from the people. And that needs to change. But it's not changing because a lot of people are taking the bait and hook. You know, hey, you know, I'm this government entity. If I give your group of people this ration of whatever, left or right, you know, are you going to let us run amok? And we're just, as the people, we're like, okay, yeah, cool. You know, we're not looking into things. We're not looking into any laws. We don't have any, as a people, we don't have political knowledge. And so they're taking advantage of that.
So let me ask you this. I got to stop doing that. Ye talks about Lizzo, right? Lizzo losing 10 pounds. Lizzo loses 10 pounds. And then all of a sudden, Ye says, well, we don't want to promote her losing weight. We want to promote body positivity. So they send these bots, all these big tech companies, they send these bots, these PR firms, to spam a whole bunch of negative comments. Oh, you're losing weight. Why? You're trying to fit in. Oh, girl, you're big and fabulous. I mean, what do you think about that? About them using bots and people to put negative comments on these celebrity pages so they can continue to push their narrative?
It's just another thing of controlling information. You control information, you control the people, right? It just goes back to that, like back to the slavery days. Like, hey, you know, Negro, you can't read. If you read, you're in trouble, right? Because you gain information and you gain knowledge, you're in trouble. So now it's going to, hey, poor person, you know, if you gain knowledge, you're in trouble. So we need bots we need misinformation to alter reality. It's so bad right now. If you try to go, some things you try to look up the pros and the cons to it, and there'll be so many pros and cons that's identical because of the way information has been altered. And so we have to start getting information for ourselves now, start actually testing things for ourselves, or else we're just going to be controlled. I mean, that's how much lack of respect the government has for us. Like, hey, we're just going to put this information out and see who rolls with it.
Right, right.
On the left and the right, because there's things that the left and the right can do better. You know,
and you know, you're right. They can do better, but we got to understand when we're talking about the left and the right, right? We got to understand the tactics that they use. We got to understand that, you know, we can't be listening to all these politicians and even these celebrities. They can't be our role model. They can't be people that we actually put weight in their stock, because they're being bought and paid for by either the left or the right. You know, like you know, for instance, when Donald Trump, right, was hanging around Ye, you didn't think he was thinking about his black constituents? You didn't think he was thinking about, I need to get the black vote, so I need to embrace Ye?
Yeah, it's a political move. It's a fake friends move, and that's what I don't like, because even when you look at the Noriega and Drink Champs thing, right?
Man, that's like Noriega, man, made me mad, man. He taking that down, man.
Yeah, it's a fake friends thing. All throughout that interview, when I was watching it, I seen him trying to kiss the rear end of the media and of the European Jewish media, because he was like, "Come on, Ye, we love these people, right?" And Ye wasn't even say we hate these people. Ye was just like, "Hey, I'm just trying to right certain wrongs." You know what I mean? Like going back to the rock and roll thing. If we say, "Hey, come on, give the props to the black rock and people that Elvis stole rock and roll from," but then you call that anti-Semitic, that's just history, right? So Ye is saying, like, hey, a lot of these people stole our culture, because it wasn't black people that was continuing the culture of saying, kill this person, F this B, drink this drink. It wasn't the black culture keeping that going. It was the owners of these record companies saying, hey, this is what you need to put out. This is what's popular.
This is the narrative we want to spin. This is the agenda we want to push. This is the politician we want to promote. This is the ideology we want the world to think. We want the masses to think and believe, and that's what they're pushing. So it's like, hey, if you notice, where did all the conscious rap and hip hop go?
Exactly. Like they was censored.
What happened to the KRS Ones? What happened to the Queen Latifahs? They
were censored, and
why don't we have any Commons anymore? What happened to Common? What happened to Nas?
Look who they was censored by. They was censored by
How is Jay-Z still allowed to still perform and do what he do, but we can't? But Nas, we don't got no new. We can't hear from Nas. No, we can't. What happened to Public Enemy?
Yeah, I mean, our reality was altered. Like once if there's no black ownership or not, let's not even get into black people, because I mean, really the rich people see all poor people as the same now. It used to just be like, hey, let's segregate black people. Now it's like, hey, let's segregate anybody below a certain dollar amount,
below
right?
This poverty line, right? Below this level of poverty line, let's segregate. It's always been a separation of the rich and the poor, right?
Right.
It's always been a separation. There's always been a certain class. There's always been the first form of slavery was classism, right? Well, you don't belong over here. Why? Because you're not part of our tribe, or you don't belong over here because you don't make a certain amount of income. You don't belong on here because you grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. You know what I'm saying? There's always been a separation of classes. There's always been some classism in everything, but this colorism thing, this is what's disheartening and what's eating me up inside. It's like you got this. I'm just gonna say what everybody's saying, even if you don't believe it. You got Ye, who is a genius, who actually has ideas to make the world better, who actually has ideas, not just for the fashion industry, not just for the music industry, but he has some ideas. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, what ideas does he have? Well, you got to listen to this guy, man. You got to get through the babbling. Ye really needs a spokesperson. I really believe Ye needs an Aaron. Ye needs someone to speak his thoughts on his behalf. Ye needs somebody to stand up and say, Ye said. Ye is saying. Ye needs to have someone, when he does his, Ye needs to babble and speak for himself, but he needs to have someone there to kind of clean up the mess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like when you go on TikTok and you have what is that called? The mediator or moderator.
He needs a he needs a moderator. He needs a. Yeah.
It's kind of like that, because if you look at it, any artist, any black artist that's trying to be positive and put out positive content, especially in the rap industry, that they are independent, right?
Right.
They're no black artist putting out positivity is signed to a label. And when I say positivity, I mean Black community positivity. I'm not talking about agenda positivity, because that reality has been altered as well. Because it's like, hey, you know, now people think that censorship is positivity, and it's not. It's doing the Disneyland effect, trying to hide the realism of what's going on.
Right. 297. We're almost at 300 in the chat. Man, hey, spam the chat right now. Hit the one. If you're in the chat right now, go ahead and spam the one in the comments. I need to know that you guys are here, man. Spam the one. Let us know what's going on.
Now I see comments and
ask us some questions. Ask us some questions, man. I'm loving that you guys are coming over to enjoy the show, because we're talking about something deeper. Censorship, man. Censorship is real. We should not, you know, and here in the U.S. in America, right? We're supposed to be upholding the Constitution. We're supposed to be upholding things like freedom of speech, right? That is big, man. I'm tired. You know, I am thankful for platforms like YouTube. I'm thankful for platforms like Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I'm thankful for those platforms, right? But what I don't like, when these platforms try to censor speech, I get it. You don't want all kinds of rhetoric and all kinds of misinformation, but we have to find you as YouTube, as Google, as Facebook, you big entities, you big corporations, you big media outputs, you guys have to find a way to let freedom of speech prevail while still making sure that misinformation is not being broadcasted as truth. And I understand that's very difficult, man, but when we, you know, let me tell you something, we see right through what you're doing with Ye. You don't think the people see that? You think because you're calling him anti this and anti that, right? You think that we don't know that you're bullying him? We don't know the thing. You think, you know, society is not dumb. The people, the masses are not as dumb and as sheeple as you might think. The masses are not as sheeple as you might. We got some wolves in the mix. We got some woke people in the mix. We got some people that are seeing what's going on. And we got some people who are even able to change the minds of the sheeple who are following the big corporation entities, because we're closer to them and we can impact them better than you can. So you guys got to come up with a way, right? And I'm so glad Ye is on this island, man. Ye right now, you know what? I'm watching Ye like I'm studying Ye like I'm studying history right now. I'm studying Ye like I'm trying to start a new career. I'm studying Ye like I'm studying other YouTubers, right? To see what, you know, because Ye is the test dummy, for lack of a better word. He got the money, right? He got the relationships, he got the information to where he can combat and stick up for himself. So Ye is giving us, Ye is doing the blueprint 4, 5, and 6 right now. He's saying this is how you stand up and fight against social media when they try to censor you. This is how you stand up and you fight against people who try to marginalize you. This is how you stand up and you fight against people who try to slander your name and make people think that that you have mental health issues when you really don't. This is how you do it.
Yeah, if
and we
anything,
need to pay attention.
He doesn't have mental health issues. I think he has a little bit of information issues, though.
And information is not always right, man. I mean, or not always accurate. He's in the ballpark.
Right, because that's my issue with, like, let's say a Candace Owens, right? Because I really can't stand Candace Owens, because like, if you want to talk about, because she wants to talk about the Black culture and how we're doing things against ourselves, right? But what she's not talking about is, like, okay, a lot of the things that you see Black people doing against themselves, it was institutioned by white supremacy. Because let's just take like redlining, right? There was blacks that wanted to live in a certain area, right? But and redlining is not a conspiracy theory. It's something that's been proven.
That's proven. Yeah.
Right. So if you cage a lot of black people, or if you cage a lot of people together in the first place, all in one area, and start cramping them up all in one area, they're going to start acting a certain way. You know, I mean, this study has been done on people in Nazi Germany and on animals. If you cramp people up all in one area, you're going to start getting negativity out of it. You know, and so a lot of these institutionalized things that we didn't start that. We didn't start the black culture of calling people bees and the N words and the negative thing. We didn't start that. That was influenced, like that was kind of part of our culture, you know, but that's kind of part of anybody's culture, right? But it just got glorified by financial ownership of the people that own these record companies. If you look at the people that own the record companies, it was like European Jewish people that had in the contracts. I'm not being conspiracy theory. Go look at people's contracts. You can't talk about this, can't talk about that. But yet Candace Owens want to say that that's something that we started. No, go back to the roots, the systemic roots of how a lot of things came about. So
shout out to Cease to Pretty Please. He got the question, man. Good point. You got a question here. Should blaxploitation be started again like in the 1970s?
You mean where they was exploiting blacks?
Remember those blaxploitation movies? You know, where they really get into the stereotype, the Mac. What's that guy? Rudy B.
Oh, the Shaft and all that type of
Shaft and what's that movie with Pamela Grier, Foxy Brown, and should we bring back, should blaxploitation be started again like in the 1970s?
Well, no, but that's something that I see Ye is trying to fight against as well, because there's a YouTube video that people should look up. Type in, I guess, Black Panther member reviews movies, right? And so it's the lady, I keep on forgetting her name. I'm sorry about that. She reviews these Black Panther movies with Black Panthers in it and gives her critique of it, right? And a lot of them, she says, are disrespectful, that I'm pretty sure many people thought was the image of the Black Panthers in movies, right? And she's like, nah, that's disrespectful. That's a caricature, blah, blah, blah. And we have to remember back in the 70s, that's the same censorship that we was dealing with. There was like, no, we cannot show Black people in a certain light, right? Because you have Blacks trying to fight like, hey, you know, there was this positive Black person, this Black person. Nah, we're not trying to do that. That's not popular right now. That's not hot right now. We need to show the pimp. We need to show the gangster. Okay, you don't want to do that? We're not going to put you on, right? And so they had a living to make. That it was either like, hey, you know, do these blaxploitation movies, or we're going to censor you out of Hollywood, right? And that's what was going on.
Right. So, man, blaxploitation movies, I'm not for them. I don't want to go back down that road just because blaxploitation was, we got to make movies that white people will accept, that show Black people in a certain light in order for Black people to make money.
Right.
And I'm not for that. You know what I'm saying? We got to start putting out movies that represent us as a people in a positive light, not in a negative connotation or a negative light. We have to put out movies that represents our real culture, not the culture that they put on us, right? Not the culture that they want other people to see. Like, we don't want people reporting on on us. We want black people reporting on black people because we know how to report on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't want someone from a different community coming in saying, this is how black people are. This is what black people drink. This is what black people eat. No. Let me tell you what black people drink. Let me tell you what black people eat. Let me tell you how black people think, how black people move. You know, we have somebody say no one hates black people. Okay. Let me tell you something about no one hates black people. That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true, because when we travel abroad, we notice the mistreatment of people of color, even in different countries, even in our own country. We know that in some Muslim countries they call us abid or abed, which means slaves. Now, they're not calling me that because I'm a foundational Black American, but if you happen to be African or an immigrant or African or from the continent of Africa, and you go over there to work, you're considered an abid. If you go to Dubai, most of the people working in Dubai are indentured servants. Okay, so and we know that the living arrangements over there is not very good. So we know that black people are really hated. So you can't say no one hates. No, a lot of people hate black people, even foundational black people. We know that even other black people hate black people, meaning African immigrants. Some of the African immigrants don't like foundational Black Americans. How do we know this? Because they call us words like akata. That's how we know. We know.
Or look at the Mexican culture, like when they say mayate.
There's Hispanic culture, yeah. The Hispanic culture, they got words like mayate. Okay, they got. We know the Hispanic. We know that there is deep-seated and deep-rooted racism when it comes to darker-skinned people. We know colorism is real, even within the Black community. We know colorism exists. We have lighter skinned Blacks. We have darker skinned Blacks. Lighter skinned Blacks don't necessarily like the darker skinned Black. Darker skinned Black don't necessarily like the lighter skin. We know this is a real issue, and we have to deal with it. We really need to get back to judging people by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin. We should not be censoring a certain group of people because of their color. That's number one. And we should not be censoring anyone that is a free thinker and speaking their mind. We should be supporting those thoughts. We should be debating those thoughts. We should be hammering out and challenging those thoughts in a civil manner so we can come to the truth.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the, I believe this was like about a month ago. Last month, there was a couple, y'all could look it up. There was a couple that tried to buy property in I think it was Asian townhomes in an Asian community. And they already owned property before, right? And now there's a lawsuit going on because the lady was caught on camera saying that, hey, I don't think the community here that you would fit in the community around here, so we can't sell it to you, and this was last month.
But see here, so let's talk about that. So you have a Black person trying to buy property in the US. Okay, in the US. Most likely they're a foundational Black American, so they were born here, they built this country. They're talking about the people that built this country can't buy in Chinatown, Koreatown, Filipino town. Are you telling me that they were denied because they were buying property in an Asian community? That's absurd.
Right. If I would have known that if I would have known that this would have came up, I would have got the news article.
Let me tell you something. You know how absurd that is? Because we have Black neighborhoods, right? We have Black neighborhoods with no Black businesses.
Right.
Are we there? I think I froze a little bit, man. My laptop must be slow or must be hot right now. It must be.
It's lagging. It's lagging a little bit.
It's lagging a grip. So let me say it like this: we're able to buy. You're able to buy in our neighborhood. Someone can come into our neighborhood and buy a house, build a business, open up shop, sell whatever they want to. But when we come into your neighborhood, there's a problem. That's
censorship, right?
That's not cool. That is censorship. That is modern day redlining, modern day Jim Crow. Okay, let's be real about that. That's totally when I hear stuff like that, man, I just get angry, man. That's not cool. We have another message. We have a very good sense of humor to behave with black guys in Australia. We don't do this here. Okay. Man, I hope so. I hope in Australia that black people are being treated with respect, being treated with dignity, right? Because censorship is not just about censoring black people. Anybody who's speaking truth to power can be censored. Anybody who's speaking truth to power and don't have the power to back themselves up can become censored.
You know why you got to stick together in Australia though? Because of that wildlife.
He said that wildlife.
Yeah, you got to stick together against the spiders and the
man.
I
don't want to see no big tarantula either. Now he's joking, but we also know about Australia, what they did to all those Aborigines, though. Okay, so we don't want to even go there. What Australia did to all them Aborigines. I mean, they almost there was an island, I think, off the coast of Australia called what was it called? Tasmania or something like that, right? Those Tasmanian people no longer exist. No longer exist. They wiped them out with impunity.
Yeah, and I mean, contrast that to what's going on over here. I mean, look at Black Wall Street. I mean, like as soon as black people started their own communities, right, it got taken out. All the cities that everybody is finding out that are underneath lakes, underneath big bodies of water. Even look at over here in like California, right? Like all the rich people own all these beachfront properties, right? It's exclusively majority, I would say like what, 95, 99% white European, right? But if you look at the history of it, they legally forced black people to give up their beach properties that they owned. They own businesses and beach properties. Look it up. This is
eminent domain.
This isn't a conspiracy theory.
Eminent domain. It's real. I mean, here's the thing, man. We have to be able to fact check the fact checker. Okay, we have to be able to fact check everything without being censored. We have to be able to combat misinformation and debate misinformation with the right information, with facts and receipts to back us up. We should not just be censoring someone because they said something that sounds contrary to what the norm is. We should be censoring. I don't think we should be censoring anybody. We should be allowing free dialogue to reign so somebody can challenge that person's belief or thought in a democratic way. Let's be real. We want to be fair here. We want to be fair, and that's all we're saying with censorship.
You want to know a part that we're not talking about though? What's it called? Marginalized genders. That's the way that the left is censoring, are using. The left is using Jim Crow tactics to censor men now, because that if you ever look up the term marginalized genders and really look at it, all the genders that they list, I believe that now there's like what 70 something genders now under marginalized genders, and they're trying to make every other gender be a minority to men, when actually men are kind of the minority from wars and whatnot, right? But if you look at the definition of marginalized genders, it segregates and excludes one gender, and that's men. It'll talk about cis. It says marginalized genders is cis women, trans, so on and so forth, right? But
they don't say anything about men.
It doesn't say it's sexist towards men.
The term people of marginalized gender was created for a mandate. The longer version read trans and cis women, as well as all trans, two-spirits, and non-binary people. Where is men in there? Where is men in there?
Exactly, and it's a segregation tactic that comes from the Jim Crow days. Like a lot of the left are using a lot of tactics from Jim Crow, like how they say how we would see the coloreds only colored whites only could enter through this door, colors can only enter in through this door. Now it's like, hey, we're segregating everybody from men and making men the enemy. Men, you're not allowed to have a voice anymore. Men, you're not allowed to do this. No, man, you need to go through the back. No, man, you need to you can't have a platform. We're paving the way for marginalized genders, which is the minority, and they're really not, and they're making it seem like that. So that's just another form of censorship, because it's saying, hey, if you're not a part of the marginalized genders, that you shouldn't have a voice because you're oppressive just because you're a man.
Yeah, and that's all wrong, man. And that's crazy, and that's ridiculous. And we got to do something about that, man. One thing I want you guys to, our vision here is that we want you to have a strong voice. We want you to speak and move with intent. We want you to be smart. We don't want you to say things recklessly. We want you to be smart and tactful. We want you to understand. We want you to be woke, but we don't want you to be woke. You know what I'm saying? We want you to be woke, but we still want you to be able to operate and move in society. You're just out there. We want you to be woke to where you understand the codes that other groups are used to be woke, in the sense that you understand what's going on in society. We want you to be smart. We want you to pick your battles. Does that make sense? You have to be able to pick your battles. Don't pick a battle you can't win. Be smart. Read some Sun Tzu. Understand what's really going on. Understand when you're up against a power, you got to understand how to move and operate, and how to fight off and defend that power. We want you to be men. Be men, unapologetically men first. Move with intention. Speak with intention. Have character. Have integrity. Have a discipline. Have structure. Have a routine.
Right. Well, I guess Moxie's laptop probably overheated and burnt out, and so I just want to let everybody know: don't allow the entities that be to change your reality, because or redefine who you are as a person, or say who you are as a person isn't valid for some other group or some other agenda. Everybody's valid as a person, I mean, if we look at it historically, there's been, let's just look at liberals and conservatives, right? Liberals and conservatives of today are way different from liberals and conservatives of the past. And I'm talking about the respectful liberals and conservatives. Like, the powers that be have altered the reality of liberals and conservatives, altered the definition of liberals and conservatives to a caricature that we see today, because a lot of the liberals of the past now are enemies, are turned into enemies by the liberals of today. And that shouldn't be, because the liberals of the past, they was fighting for rights and less government and whatnot. And then so,
man, you know, when you're dealing with this laptop, man, and it's getting hot, you know, it's messing up. So I gotta restart my laptop, you guys. But the show is going on. We got 211 people in the chat right now. Man, y'all hit the ones, man. Y'all make sure y'all hitting the like. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. Okay? Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you got, man, I'm glad to finally get my community finally in here at one time. You guys finally caught alive, and I'm excited to have you guys. I need you guys to make sure that you are hitting the like button. I'm not asking for super chats. I'm not asking for cash apps. I'm not asking for donations. I'm just asking for something free. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Share the content, man. We're out there, man. I don't even know if they're gonna censor this, but we're live. You guys are seeing this. This is those who are being able to see this live. You're privileged, because others may not be able to see this content because they might try to censor this. Why? Because we're spitting some real stuff here. We're unapologetically men here. We're giving you guys the keys to the kingdom, and we're telling you that censorship is modern day Jim Crow. Watch out for it. Watch out for it. But carry on, Walter, man. You was hitting them with something, man. Let me try to get this computer back up if I can. If not, I might have to continue here on my cell phone here.
okay, yeah. We need to look at what's being censored and why, for what reasons. And if we really look at the roots of censorship, it's to make somebody rich, it's to improve somebody's stocks. Because I mean, just look at right now. There's a battle going on between men and women in America that shouldn't be going on, all because the face of men is F boys and loser men that some woman chose and got hurt over. And now the face of men isn't people like us. It's some guy image off of media or off a Tyler Perry movie that's been doing women wrong. And we've been censored as real men. We've been censored as misogynistic. And it's funny because, like, I use a lot of words from women we know, like Mama Rex and whatnot. I know some women like Mama Rex, and I'll use their very words in a group discussion. And I'll be called misogynistic. And I'll say, wait a minute, those aren't my words. A woman said that. And no, but no, you said that, you're misogynist. No, and you're just trying to censor me, and you're just trying to control to make it seem like all women think this way, and it's not true. That there are women that think the same way that we do. They're just being censored. And so censorship is just to put people against each other. We need to pull out the correct identities of men, the correct identities of women. We need to stop. I'm not sure if anybody's read that old book, the Emperor's New Clothes, to where they was telling the emperor, yeah, if you just put this on, yeah, you look good, you look nice. and the emperor was naked, and they were stealing the emperor's money. And that's what's going on in today's society. They're saying, oh yeah, you're doing right, oh yeah, you look good, you look nice, and they're sending you out there. They're in society, socially naked according to what they say, while they made money off you, and they didn't give you a dang thing. Just like they didn't give the emperor in the book any new clothes. They just told the emperor that they gave him clothes, and the emperor's going out embarrassing himself, being naked, um, um, being exposed and embarrassed just off of being tricked mentally, being censored mentally. You know, he couldn't even look at himself in the mirror and realize that he was naked. He was going off the opinions of the people that was claiming to dress him. And so that's what entities are doing to us as a people. They're saying, hey, yeah, you're right. You just do this. This is your empowerment. This is your blah, blah, blah. And it's not empowerment. It's just something for them to gain finances.
Right. And we got to watch out for that, man. And that is the perfect analogy. That's a perfect story to bring up right now, man, about that, man, because that's exactly what's going on. we have people that are gassing you up. They're gaslighting you. They're gaslighting. They're making you seem crazy, like they have all the answers, so they can steal from you, so they can take from you, so they can take your power. Women do it to men all the time. They have to gaslight you. They have to take away your power. They got to make you question your masculinity, question your intellect, right? Oh, why are we doing it this way? We should be doing it this way, right? And you're like, no, I think we need to do it this way. And they're like, no, let me know. No, you need to do it this way because of this and that, and this is the reason why. And you go on second guessing yourself, and you believe them, and you listen to them, and you're like, well, the majority must be right because they're saying this. That's what they want you to believe. Because once you're in your emotions, once you're what they say you're on tilt, right? Once you're on tilt, why do you think media, when they're interviewing people, they're trying to give them time to catch the person on tilt?
Right.
They're trying to make a viral moment. They're trying to ask questions that is instinctively going to get you in your emotions, because when your emotions gets high, your intelligence is low. So they want there is an agenda to make males more effeminate. Why? Because more effeminate males can be controlled. They can also be out of control because your emotions, if you don't know how to control your emotions, right, you can be out of control. They want out of control. They want out of control effeminate men because they know how to control those guys. If you get out of control, where can they put you? In jail. Isn't that a pipeline for money? Isn't modern day slavery? Like we have modern day Jim Crow. Well, the jail system is modern day slavery. They can get you in there. They can get you to do whatever they want you to do. Then you can make, I don't know, 1 million car plates, right? I don't know. You can hit this rock 1,000 times and strike gold, and they're gonna make that money. And they're going to pay you 10 cents an hour. You see what I'm saying? They know how to get you on tilt, and that's what they want to get you in your emotions, get you on tilt, and then that's how they can control you. That's how they can also censor you. The moment they get you, see, it's like this. It's like you run up. It's like they run up and go pinch you, right? They pinched you. You're like, oh, you pinched me. So you go run up and pinch them back, and then they got 50 million cameras on you and saying, "Oh, you attacked this person. Oh, how dare you? You're just retaliating off the response that they triggered. They started it. You're trying to finish it, but all the camera is on you now. That's how they get you. That's also how they censor you, because they do something that you can't do, and they shine the light on your response, saying, "Oh man, this guy is mentally unstable. Oh, this guy is he's violent." You know, they want to use all the major stereotypes, right, that they do to classify people who are not following the rules, right? Not going along. If you don't go along to get along, they're gonna get you. If you don't go along to get along, they're gonna get you. Now I'm still over here I'm trying to bring it back up my computer screen. I had to restart my computer here. But we're gonna start winding it down a little bit, man. I got a couple more videos, man. But Walter, what do you say to this whole? I mean, we're winding it down. But what do you say to this whole ordeal? You have Ye on an island with no base, which is dangerous. Ye on an island by himself, battling censorship, fighting against, he's in the fight. We might get some of this 1960s, 1970s revolution again. We might actually see that come back. And I'm for that. We need to make this country great again. We got to make it great. The people have to make it great. We do need to stand up to tyranny. We do need to stand up to unjust censorship. Okay, we do need to fight against these platforms. As much as we respect and we love these platforms, we're grateful for them, they can't stop progress. We must be the foster of progress. We must be the foster of change. Stop letting the government be the foster of progress and the foster of change. Stop letting the politicians and these entities and these groups, because they have an agenda that's not the agenda of the people. Get on side with the people and get off the side of the big corporations, big pharma, the establishment. Be a part of the movement, not a part of the establishment. We are trying to tear down the establishment and build up a new establishment underneath this old establishment as it goes out the door. Get on code, my people. Everybody. Black people, white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, get on code. Get on code with your ethnic group. Get on code. Black people especially. Get codified. If you don't know what on code is, look it up. Go on Twitter. I'm telling you, man, y'all better listen to people like Tariq Nasheed. Okay, y'all better understand the need to be codified. Professor Black Truth. Y'all need to understand New Black Media. Y'all need to research and study things like this. Get away from the Roland Martins. I know how much you guys like that guy, but get away from that guy. He said a lot of good things, but that guy, he man, you talk about babbling. That brother babbles more than Ye. Okay, that guy is, he's not for us. He's for the establishment. Get on board with people who are part of the grassroots movement. Get involved with them. They're doing a reparations rally November 5th. If you don't know about it, now you know about it. Get on board. Washington, D.C., November 5th, they're doing a reparations rally. You guys need to be there, be a part of history, be a part of the movement. It's going on in Washington, D.C. Get on board with reparations. They gave reparations to everybody else. Why can't they send reparations to the Black community? We don't want the reparations in the form of affirmative action. We don't want the reparations in the form of welfare or anything like that. We want true and real reparations. And if you don't believe in reparations, if you don't believe that, then you don't believe in life insurance. I'm gonna just say it like that. If you believe in life insurance, you have to believe in reparations, because life insurance is something owed to you. Your family paid into. My ancestors built this country. They paid into their life insurance. Okay, they overly paid, and now it's time for that wealth that they built up that they couldn't get to be passed on to the next generation, which is us. Redlining is real. We were locked out of getting in the financial game. And guess what? The moment they let us in the financial game, guess what happened? The most millionaires in the U.S. are black. And there's more white. Listen, in the U.S., there are more black millionaires than any other group. Why? Because they let us, because we're in the financial game. Now we're not billionaires. We only got a few of those. And Ye right now is the richest black man in America. That's why you got to respect that dude. That's why you got to listen to that dude. That's why you can't allow the media to shame him or silence him. We must keep his voice. That's why you have Ye trying to buy Parler. Some people might say that's a good thing. Some people might say that's a bad thing. Some people look at Parler like a white supremacist platform, right? But what did that tell you when a black man can buy a white supremacist platform and switch it up and make it for freedom of speech and make it so everybody can speak their mind and have dope conversations, whether negative or positive? We can have dope conversations that actually move the goalpost, move the needle in a positive direction. I'm still trying to get online, you guys, forgive me. But man, that's what we got to do, man. That's what we got to do, man. We have to stand up to censorship. And we have to do it. And listen, if we do it individually, we're not going to get anywhere. But if we do it as a group, if we do it as a people, if we move in one accord, it's time for the people to have their voice. It's time for the people to be unified. It's time for the people to speak out against what they see is wrong. And time for the people to start making the changes, not allowing the government and all these other. No, we got to tell the government what they need to do for us, not the government what they need. Not the government tell us what we need to do or tell us what we need to be doing. We need to tell the government what we want them to do for us because we are the people. We are the government. We put these people in power so they can foster and take care of us, foster our growth. The problem with power is power corrupts, right? You leave a person in power too long, they start thinking they can take over. That's why we have terms on this stuff. That's why we have limits on how long you can serve. Because you leave a person in power too long, eventually they do some. Even the short time they're in office now, they're doing some crazy stuff. So what do you think they're going to do if you leave them in it for 20 years?
Some branches don't have a limit, though.
Oh, we got to start putting limits on these branches, man. I'm tired of seeing the same old politicians stuck in the same position. We got to get these old politicians out and get some new politicians in that are going to speak for the people. Speak for the people. And that's my message to you guys, man. Censorship is bad. Censorship is modern day Jim Crow. Censorship is evil of any kind. You know how you silence a critic? With truth, not with censorship. You do not silence a critic with censorship. You silence a critic with truth, with receipts. Line upon line, precept upon precept. That's how you shout down and shut down your haters. Walter, any last words before we close out the program? I'm still having laptop problems here. My laptop is moving slow. We're trying to get back up and going here, but
oh yeah, it's good. I got to get out of here and get the bag anyway. But yeah, I think the only way we could counter censorship and not continue on with Jim Crow and things of that nature repeating itself is we need to bring back ownership. I think if Ye is serious, I mean, to me, if he's going to be serious, to me at least, bring back Black Wall Street before you start running. You know, You got a couple of years. Start pulling together some of these black millionaires and black multimillionaires. Start pick a city. Start build hospitals. Take over some hospitals. Take over some clinics. Take over some schools. All in the same place.
Take over some Planned Parenthood and flip them and turn them into something else.
Yeah, or even better. Go into pick a city. Go into that place. Start educating people on sex and taking sex seriously instead of this sexual liberation thing going on, and show that and make Planned Parenthood in that neighborhood have to close down because the young people are more worried about getting the bag than just having sex to pass the time, or because somebody's cute, that because their mindset is on being able to succeed for the future than it is for just lying around and doing the things that impoverished communities are doing. If Ye builds another black Wall Street that starts paving the way for another black Wall Street in any community, just pick a community, start doing that, then we'll know you're serious, and then that type of ownership will drive out the censorship, because it's like, hey, look what's going on over there in that city that Ye done touched down in. They're saying this about that place, but no, if you go actually visit it, whatever, it's flourishing. They got clean running water. It's not like Flint, Michigan. They got a police system over there that's diverse, that has a different fraternity code. They have hospitals that will look out for people according to their ethnicity, and so on and so forth. Do that, have that type of ownership, and they'll start tearing the censorship down.
Well said, man. Well said. Well said. And with that being said, y'all, this is the Too Much Moxie podcast. And we are out. Peace.
Yeah, I feel like I joined